it's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with this Nigerian newspaper. The major story here says, give her justice. Buhari directs Inspector General of Police on slain lawyer Bolanle Rahim. Lagos takes over case from police. PSC pushes for accelerated investigation. You'll find all the details on the front page of this Nigeria newspaper. We move now to the front page of the Leadership newspaper. 2023 elections. Atiku Obi Kwankwaso optimistic of victory on the first ballot. A candidate enjoys solidarity, support of majority of Nigerians. PDP. We are making inroads. SDP also speaking. All right, to the front page of the Blueprint now. Tinubu Atiku battle for Southwest. Ashiwaju, a marketable candidate on Onuga. Atiku will win at first ballot, boasts campaign spokesman Ologbodinyo. APC has plunged Nigeria into woes. Tambuwal speaking. Fani Kayode mocks Obi over Oshuntokun's choice as campaign DG. Mike?
All right, I have first news here, and they said preferred presidential candidate, which is the focus here. Anxiety in PDP as G5 governors meet again in the UK. Wike, Makinde, others set to take decision, endorse choice. Consider Tinubu and Obi. These are stories on the front page of the first news. From there, let's go to the Punch newspaper. The Punch is focusing on the PDP crisis. Aggrieved governors may endorse Obasanjo's candidate January 5th. Name your preferred presidential candidate. PDP dares angry governors. Good luck to Atiku if he can win without us. Bode George is quoted as saying this, and it's on the front page of the Punch newspaper. From there, let's go to the Nigerian News Direct. Harsh economy. Federal government to declare position on workers' salary increment in 2023. All right, harsh economy. Federal government to declare position on workers' salary increment in 2023. That's what News Direct has. And then let's move to the Nature News, which is the last one I'm looking at now. And it's saying Harmattan concerns as dry season ailments spread across states. Concerns as dry season ailments spread across states. That's the Harmattan. The Harmattan is here. And then for us to feel it in Lagos, it means if you go to the north or the north central, you're going to see it.
It's quite intense.
Really intense there. All right, that's what we have here.
All right, let's quickly look at one of the stories that's causing a stir in the political space as we speak. We're talking about Wike and his integrity group, the G5 governors.
He's the biggest, one of the biggest phenomenons right now.
Yes. Because every political party is looking at, okay, which direction are they going to go? Who are they going to support? Because a lot of them know the electoral value these governors will bring if they get their support. And so that debate has been on. The governors met, they had a meeting or have gone to London, the UK, to have a meeting on their position. Recall that Wike recently, sometime this month, said that he was going to make his position and the position of the other governors known very soon. And so that is what we are seeing now. They've gone to the UK to have a meeting and make considerations. And there are parties looking, saying that, you know what, whatever your agreement, we are going to stick with your agreement. And the members of the PDP who are supporting Atiku have come out to say that, you know, the G5 governors not supporting us will not stop Atiku from winning. And then Bode George is coming out to say, good luck to you if you think that without us, that you can get that victory that you're looking forward to. But the mix is interesting to see these dynamics come to play at this time, coming because you're already counting down to the elections. Yeah,
it's quite interesting. It makes it more, in fact, it seems that's one of the most interesting things playing out in the political space right now, apart from a few other presidential candidates that are going, you know, visiting the states. Now, let us not, I think it's very clear, the writing is clear on the wall, that if five governors decide to come together and say, this is the person we're supporting, especially if the person they are supporting has got some base already.
Yeah.
It's going to be phenomenal.
Yes.
Now, recall in 2015, when the new PDP,
yes, NPDP,
it was the same kind of scenario, and where they poured their votes into, you saw the impact.
Yes.
Now, if the G5 governors decide to support, let us create some scenarios here. If they decide to support any of the candidates, any of the major candidates,
yes.
For instance, they decide to support Tinubu, the APC presidential candidate, it's going to be too clear. In fact, the winning will be the landslide will be too wide that you will, in fact, you will see the whole thing going on one direction. If they decide to vote a Peter Obi, who is also a major contender right now, of course, a lot of people are also going to say it's going to be phenomenal. If we put them on side by side, and Peter Obi, on the other hand, would have either come second or come third. I'm just creating scenarios. And these 5 candidates decide to pour their votes into a Peter Obi campaign, then you may or could likely see a runoff at the polls.
Yeah.
I'm just creating scenarios here. Yeah. So the point there is, PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar should be very wary at this time, because they'll be in London for at least until the 30th, until 29th or 30th.
The 30th, yes.
Good. And then they will come back.
Yeah.
When they come back, because it looks like they are finalizing their position and all of that. And this is still the best time, because remember, recall they've been saying that we're open to discussion. We're open to discussion. And really, they've been open to that discussion. And the discussion they are open to is for an Atiku Abubakar to stoop low, to come and say, okay, guys, let us do it this way. I agree with you, as the case may be. There are times in politics that you have to stoop to conquer. Because if you don't know when to do that, and you feel that the pride that you have, which is your clout, and your clout that you have, which is your value, you have to wield it every single time, then you'll be shocked sometimes when you get to the polls. Because you have to have an idea of what the poll will look like before you even get into it.
No, one would expect that an Atiku would know all of this.
He knows. He knows.
Because he has been in this game for some time.
He knows.
And so should have known how to manage the situation.
See one of the permutations. One of the permutations. Another idea. Another permutation, the explanation that came, is seeing some people are seeing it from the perspective of Atiku may not have prepared to win this election.
Why did you come in the first place?
These are all permutations, these are all explanations, deductions that people are seeing. But the point there is that he needed to block that space, because the moment you rise to becoming a presidential candidate, from then on, you're no longer the same person that you have always been, especially if you're a major contender. Okay. So the point there is that instead of giving that space to somebody else, because he still has the ambition and the intention, knowing that maybe he doesn't have what it takes from the feelers of people, because everybody is saying, okay, fine, let presidency go to the south.
Yeah.
Even now that you remember the APC governors in the north came to say, let's go to the south.
Yes.
So knowing that whatever the thing is, this thing is going to the south after all. But we don't want anybody else to be in the PDP space. We need to block it so that after this person's tenure, whoever emerges from the next presidential whatever, then he maintains and then it comes to him.
Back to him.
So these are all issues that people are looking at. But the issue there is that sometimes you have to stoop to conquer, and you're stooping. That is what makes a governorship candidate sometimes come to kneel down to beg electorates. It is that stooping. It doesn't mean you don't have your clout. It is that stooping that makes some governors who are campaigning even cry.
That will work anymore as it stands now with what's the handwriting on the wall. Even if he stoops, it may not work for the person of a Wike and the other governors, I do not believe it will work.
It could work.
I don't believe it will work because I believe Wike gave them the time, to come and have engagements and all of it. He was sending emissaries. So for him, it seems he has moved on and has decided this is where he stands.
Yeah.
And so whatever they come up with at the end of the day, we're waiting to see that. And the electoral value that will bring for whoever it is that they are going to support at the end of the day. But fingers are crossed to see how things will be and how things will pan out at the end of the day, because it's going to be an interesting one.
No, of course, really,
obviously.
it's already interesting.